All right, so move on to the next segment. We're going to switch gears from the basketball side onto football and the NFL world. And in this next segment, I'll be sharing my winners and losers of NFL free agency so far. So I'll be starting off with my winners, starting off with the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have acquired Jalen Ramsey in a trade. We've seen the Miami Dolphins acquire Jalen Ramsey from the Los Angeles Rams and all it took was a 2023 third round pick to acquire a top 5 cornerback in the league in Jalen Ramsey, someone who still has a lot of gas left in his gas tank. This is huge because the Miami Dolphins defense is already ramping up to be a top 5, top 10 unit next year. We're going to see Vic Fangio, their new defensive coordinator, have fun with this Miami Dolphins defense. And now they just landed one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League, and you're going to be pairing him up with a top 10 cornerback in the league and Xavier Howard. I believe that Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard has the ability to be the best cornerback duo in the National Football League. I think this defense is going to take a step up in the world. We talk about elite defenses next year in the NFL. So I'm looking forward to seeing the duo of Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey play alongside each other in Miami. This is definitely a huge W for the Miami Dolphins acquiring Jalen Ramsey. Another winner is the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints acquired Derek Carr. They signed Derek Carr to a 4-year contract. They restructured Michael Thomas's contract. So we're going to be seeing Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Jamal Williams, their new second-string running back, Taysom Hill at the tight end position. We're going to see a lot of talent on this New Orleans Saints offense and on the defensive side of the ball. So there's some continuity going on. They're going to be loaded on both sides of the football. That's exactly what you want when you're talking about a good, well-oiled machine being a good team in the National Football League. This team actually has has a chance to make a lot of noise in a weak NFC conference. I think that right now the only true contenders that will be heading into next season in the NFC are the NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Dallas Cowboys. Those are the only true teams that I truly see as contenders at this particular moment in the NFC. I think everybody else still has to prove that they are going to be a legit contender in the NFC. They have not proved it yet, and they will have a chance to do it next season. But I think this New Orleans Saints team is going to make a lot of noise. Not only that, they have a true chance of hosting a playoff game because they are in a weak NFC South division. A division with the Carolina Panthers, who will be having a rookie quarterback. A division that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers no longer have Tom Brady and will either have Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask as their starting quarterback. A division that has the Atlanta Falcons that will either be starting Taylor Heineke or Desmond Ridder as their quarterback. The NFC South is definitely a guaranteed win to me for the New Orleans Saints. They should win this division pretty easily. And I think they're going to shock a lot of people in the NFC next year. Good pickup for the Saints. Winners, the Dallas Cowboys. Round of applause for the Jerry Jones family. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, you have made me a happy man. Because every time during this time of year in NFL free agency, I just sit back and know my Dallas Cowboys are not going to make any huge moves during NFL free agency because they always build in the draft. And that's great. At least 75 to 80% of our roster has been drafted, and they've never played for a team in the NFL. But that's great. But that doesn't win you that doesn't win you Super Bowls. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys haven't won one since I've been alive. So they're starting to learn a little bit, and I applaud them for it. They didn't have to make any huge spectacular moves, but they just did enough for a roster that just needed a few touches. And they did that. They acquired one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League, is Stephon Gilmore. They acquired him for the Indianapolis Colts. They got him for only a 5th-round pick. You're pairing him with Trayvon Diggs. When you look at Dan Quinn's defense, there are really no flaws, no holes on his defense last year. The only true hole that I saw during the season is Trayvon Diggs stepped up, arguably had the best season of his NFL career so far. But on the other side, there was a lot of question marks as his tag team partner on the other side being the second corner on this team. Anthony Brown was exposed a lot. Jordan Lewis got hurt early in the first half of the NFL season. We had our secondary was very thin heading into the second half of the season because guys were getting banged up left and right, put on IR, and gone for the rest of the season. Now you get Trayvon Diggs, a true tag team partner, and Stephon Gilmore. I just said that Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard have a chance to be one of the best cornerback duos in the National Football League this year. Tell me why that Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore don't have the same opportunity to do the same thing. Be the best cornerback duo in the National Football League. Definitely a huge pickup. And it didn't stop there because the Dallas Cowboys acquired Brandon Cooks yesterday for a 2023 fifth round pick and a 2024 sixth round pick. That is a cheap steal to get Brandon Cooks, who has proven that he can be an 1,000-yard receiver 5-6 times in his NFL career so far. So you're gonna have CeeDee Lamb, you're gonna have Brandon Cooks, you're gonna have Michael Gallup all in the same offense. I think that is huge for the Dallas Cowboys heading into next season. And they also have re-signed players of Tony Pollard, who will be back. Terrence Steele in the offensive line. Donovan Wilson, who stepped up and had a career year at the safety position. Leighton Vander Esch will be back at linebacker. You have C.J. Goodwin, who is a good special teams player. And backup quarterback Cooper Rush will be back for the Dallas Cowboys next year. Definitely, they're making me happy this NFL offseason so far. And let's talk about the Detroit Lions. They have upgraded the most this NFL offseason. This team is in takeoff mode. They have officially made some huge signings to the point to me that they could be a potential 10 to 11 win team next season. I think they are my pick right now to win the NFC North. The way how things are going, we're about to see Aaron Rodgers leave. The Chicago Bears, I like the Detroit Lions more, and I ever expressed how much I feel about the Minnesota Vikings. They've been frauds from the get-go. So I like the Detroit Lions becoming the new kings of the North next year. This is actually the first time they won this division, and since the 21st century has begun, if they could do it. But this NFL offseason, they made some huge pickups. They signed safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from the former safety for the Philadelphia Eagles. They picked up David Montgomery to pair him up in the backfield with Swift. They have signed former Steelers cornerback Cameron Sutton. They have signed former 49ers cornerback Emmanuel Mosley, and they currently have 2 first-round picks. One coming at pick number 6 and one coming at pick 18 in this upcoming NFL draft. So the Detroit Lions have definitely upgraded the most during this NFL free agency, and they're my final winner of NFL free agency so far. And then let's move on to the losers. We have the Los Angeles Rams being a loser. They have moved on from players of Bobby Wagner. They have moved on from a guy of Jalen Ramsey, who is a top 5 cornerback. And they will most likely trade away Allen Robinson sooner rather than later. This team is losing a lot of talent very quickly after winning the Super Bowl just a year ago. And I do not see the core of Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, and Sean McVay all staying together much longer in LA. I think it's only a matter of time before the full rebuild happens with the Los Angeles Rams and they all part ways, go their separate ways, whether it's Aaron Donald and Matthew Stafford retiring, whether it's Cooper Kupp finding a new contending team to play for, and maybe Sean McVay stepping away to pursue a TV career. I think these 4 guys, these 4 cornerstones that were a part of the Los Angeles Rams Super Bowl will not be in LA much longer. Next season, I see this team being a 7-10 team. I do not see them making the playoffs, and I damn sure do not see them winning the NFC West. The Los Angeles Rams have definitely become losers during the NFL free agency. The reigning defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, are on my losers list. They let Orlando Brown sign with the Cincinnati Bengals. Somebody who is one of your best offensive linemen, you let walk away, and he signed with another top team in the AFC with the Cincinnati Bengals. Then Juju Smith, someone who you groomed up to be your true number 1 for sake of the future, just signed with the New England Patriots. So they're in desperate need of a true number 1 wide receiver. Right now, the season started today. Kadarius Toney would be their number 1 starting wide receiver. And Sky Moore would be the second wide receiver on the depth chart. There's nothing wrong with that. I think these guys still need more time to develop as route runners, more time to develop as a true threat to take the top off of defense, not just in speed plays, but they need more time to develop before they could either one of those guys could be true number ones. I understand Travis Kelce is there at tight end, but they need a true number one. But they still have time. They still have time to sign Odell Beckham, who's still a free agent. Or they still have time to trade for DeAndre Hopkins, who it sounds like the Arizona Cardinals are just going to take a second-round pick for. So they still have time. But right now, free agency has not looked good for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're in my losers column. And this is just music to my ears, being a Dallas Cowboys fan. The Philadelphia Eagles are on my losers list. Yes, they are the defending NFC champions, but they lost a lot this NFL offseason so far. They lost their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Both guys have went on to become new head coaches in the National Football League. They lost linebacker TJ Edwards. They lost safety CJ Gardner-Johnson. They lost linebacker Kazir White. They lost running back Miles Sanders. They lost defensive tackle Javon Hargrave. They lost safety Marcus Epps. And they also lost guard Isaac Sumalo. So yeah, they lost a lot of guys during NFL free agency so far. I know they've signed Rashard Penny. I don't think he is as talented as Miles Sanders. I think that's a huge drop off. They kept Darius Slay and Chase and Kelce, yes, but that's a lot of talent that you just lost after going to the Super Bowl next year. To me, they're up there with the Commanders, not making a lot of effective moves, actually losing the NFL free agency. When you talked about the other teams in the NFC East, they're definitely on my losers list right now. And last but not least is the Baltimore Ravens. What is going on in Baltimore? Lamar Jackson, they still do not have this situation under control. Lamar Jackson is able to talk with other teams. I have not heard a whisper about that. But they still have not offered Lamar Jackson a new contract. It seems to me that they're content of having him stay on the tag. Marlon Humphrey has to be one of the worst negotiators, one of the worst recruits in the NFL today. Every day I see this man pick up his phone and tweet on his phone. It's going to be a good day for the Baltimore Ravens. I did my homework. We're going to pick up a free agent. Where are the moves at? Where are the moves at? I have not seen. And then when things don't go his way, he says, never mind. Marlon Humphrey has to be one of the worst recruits in the National Football League. Someone needs to take his Twitter account away at this particular point. So he's going to be heartbroken by the NFL draft if the Ravens don't make a move. Right now, they are limited in cap space. They're handicapped in cap space. They really can't do much of free agency as well. They have not made any major moves, and that's going to hurt them because they only have 5 NFL draft picks for this upcoming draft. So I need to see some for the Baltimore Ravens. The wide receiver class has already been poor. I don't see Odell Beckham going to the Baltimore Ravens, especially with the situation going on with Lamar Jackson. I definitely don't see them trading for DeAndre Hopkins. They don't have the cap space to handle his contract. It's just tough for the Baltimore Ravens. They're definitely in my losers column as well for NFL free agency. It doesn't seem like things are going to get much better during NFL free agency as well for them. But those are my NFL free agent winners and losers so far during NFL free agency at this particular point.